birth 1957, sex male. Branimir Krunic, year of birth 1966, sex male. Tomislav Lenjev, year of birth 1957, sex male. Zlatko Lenjev, year of birth 1949, sex male. Zvonimir Lerotic, year of birth 1960, sex male. Tomislav Leslich, year of birth 1950, sex male. Mihalo Let, year of birth 1956, sex male. Dragutin Lili, year of birth 1951, sex male. Hrvoje Lubas, year of birth 1971, sex male. Tihomir Lonchar, year of birth 1955, sex male. Yoko Lovric, year of birth 1968, sex male. Jozo Lovric, year of birth 1953, sex male. Marko Lucic, year of birth 1954, sex male. Branko Lukenda, year of birth 1961, sex male. Mato Lukic, year of birth 1963, sex male. Mile Magdic, year of birth 1953, sex male. Predrag Bagoc, year of birth 1965, sex male. Robert Majic, year of birth 1971, sex male. Željko Major, year of birth 1960, sex male. Marko Mandic, year of birth 1953, sex male. Zdenko Marisic, year of birth 1956, sex male. Martin Marjanovic, year of birth 1959, sex male. Ivan Majar, year of birth 1934, sex male. Andriha Mejeshi, year of birth 1936, sex male. Zoran Mejeshi, year of birth 1940, sex male. Ohran Medic, year of birth 1956, sex male. Tomislav Mihovic, year of birth 1952, sex male. Josip Mikletic, year of birth 1952, sex male. Zdravko Mikulic, year of birth 1961, sex male. Zvanko Mikulic, year of birth 1969, sex male. Zlatko Milic, year of birth 1955, sex male. Zvonimir Milyak, year of birth 1950, sex male. Ivan Misic, year of birth 1968, sex male. Mile Linaric, year of birth 1966, sex male. Andriha Mokos, year of birth 1955, sex male. Alexander Molnar, year of birth 1965, sex male. Anton Mutvar, year of birth 1969, sex male. Darko Naj, year of birth 1965, sex male. Franjo Naj, year of birth 1935, sex male. Ivan Nehashmich, year of birth 1958, sex male. Jean-Michel Nicoliev, year of birth 1966, sex male. Mersad Omarovich, year of birth 1970, sex male. Ivan Oreshki, year of birth 1950, sex male. Tomislav Pap, year of birth 1963, sex male. Željko Pataric, year of birth 1959, sex male. Slobodan Pavlic, year of birth 1965, sex male. Zlatko Pavlovich, year of birth 1963, sex male. Mato Perak, year of birth 1961, sex male. Alexander Perko, year of birth 1967, sex male. Damir Perkovic, year of birth 1965, sex male. Josip Perkovic, year of birth 1963, sex male. Stepan Petrovic, year of birth 1949, sex male. Josip Petrovic, year of birth 1963, sex male. Nikola Pinter, year of birth 1940, sex male. Ivan Plavšić, year of birth 1939, sex male. Damir Polhert, year of birth 1962, sex male. Branimir Polovina, year of birth 1950, sex male. Stanko Posavic, year of birth 1952, sex male. Yanya Pozorski, year of birth 1931, sex female. Tomo Bravdic, year of birth 1934, sex male. Tomislav Prepic, year of birth 1959, sex male. Dmitar Pokar, year of birth 1949, sex male. Ivan Raguj, year of birth 1955, sex male. Milan Rasic, year of birth 1954, sex male. Krešimir Ratkovic, year of birth 1968, sex male. Marko Ribicic, year of birth 1951, sex male. Salvador Rimac, year of birth 1960, sex male. Carlo Rohacek, year of birth 1942, sex male. Željko Rohacek, year of birth 1971, sex male. Cheman Saiti, year of birth 1960, sex male. Damjan Samardic, year of birth 1946, sex male. Tihomir Savanovic, year of birth 1964, sex male. Ivan Senšić, year of birth 1964, sex male. Stepan Sotinac, year of birth 1934, sex male. Pavel Spudic, year of birth 1965, sex male. Marko Stanic, year of birth 1958, sex male. Željko Stanic, year of birth 1968, sex male. Petar Stefanko, year of birth 1942, sex male. Ivan Stojanovic, year of birth 1949, sex male. Jubomir Stubichar, year of birth 1954, sex male. Davor Shajtovic, year of birth 1961, sex male. Martin Sajtovic, year of birth 1914, sex male. Stefan Sharkic, year of birth 1955, sex male. Sed Sharshkin, year of birth 1960, sex male. Vekoslav Shindil, year of birth 1971, sex male. Juril Shrenk, year of birth 1943, sex male. Dražen Štelful, year of birth 1963, sex male. Antun Tabacek, year of birth 1958, sex male. Tadiha Tadic, year of birth 1959, sex male. Duho Tarl, year of birth 1950, sex male. Antun Terek, year of birth 1940, sex male. Darko Tishli Jaric, year of birth 1971, sex male. Ivica Tivanovac, year of birth 1963, sex male. Tihomir Tomasic, year of birth 1963, sex male. Željko Tordinac, year of birth 1961, sex male. Tomislav Tot, year of birth 1967, sex male. Tihomir Traljic, year of birth 1967, sex male. Miroslav Turk, year of birth 1950, sex male. Petar Turk, year of birth 1947, sex male. Dane Tusnajic, year of birth 1959, sex male. Dražen Tuškan, year of birth 1966, sex male. Branko Ušak, year of birth 1958, sex male. Mirko Wagenhofer, year of birth 1937, sex male. Zvanko Varenica, year of birth 1957, sex male. Sinica Weber, year of birth 1969, sex male. Goran Vidoš, year of birth 1960, sex male. Žarko Vilenica, year of birth 1969, sex male. Anton Virges, year of birth 1953, sex male. Mate Vlaho, year of birth 1959, sex male. Miroslav Vlaho, year of birth 1967, sex male. Zlatan Voloder, year of birth 1960, sex male. Harlan von Basinger, year of birth 1971, sex male. Zlatko Vojovic, year of birth 1951, sex male. Zlavin Vukajovic, year of birth 1970, sex male. Rudolf Vukovic, year of birth 1961, sex male. Vladimir Vukovic, year of birth 1957, sex male. Dravko Vukovic, year of birth 1967, sex male. Ivan Vulic, year of birth 1946, sex male. Vid Vulic, year of birth 1941, sex male. Zvanko Vulic, year of birth 1971, sex male. Mihalo Zera, year of birth 1955, sex male. Josip Zelko, year of birth 1953, sex male. Dominik Žeravica, year of birth 1959, sex male. Damir Zivkovic, year of birth 1970, sex male. Goran Živkovic, year of birth 1960, sex male. Borislav Zhukec, year of birth 1963, sex male.
Madam Registrar, thank you very much for reading out these 255 names. Just for a better understanding, the list of these victims has to be read in connection with paragraph 20 of the indictment, where we can read, during the evening of 20 November 1991, the soldiers transported the victims in groups of 10 to 20 to a remote execution site between the Ovakara farm and Grabovo, where they shot and killed approximately 255 non-Serbs from Vukovar hospital. It is the case of the prosecution that Dr. Šešelj is individual criminal responsible for these acts. Let us now please proceed with Annex 4, victims from Velepromet facility, Vukovar.
November 1991, location Velepromet facility, Vukovar. Antun Cirk, year of birth 1942, sex male. Velko Gorac, year of birth 1959, sex male. Ivan Mataushek, year of birth 1958, sex, male. Nikola Mihailovich, year of birth 1950, sex, male. Petar Soganovich, year of birth 1938, sex, male. Deno Vladislavovich, 71, sex, male.
Thank you. It follows Annex 5, victims from Chelopek, Dom, Culture, Zvornik, in relation to paragraph 22 of the indictment.
Date, the 1st of June to the 26th of June, 1992. Victims, Ezat Hadic, year of birth 1936. Aliha Atlich, 1938. Your Honor, there is no sex indicated, only the year of birth. Hosen Salihovic, 1950. Saleh Sahirovic, 1946. Hassan Halilovic, 1954. Sayed Jihic, 1960. Zaim Pezrovic, 1959. Shaban Bikic, 1957. Hassan Atlich, 1952. Omer Okanovich, 1936. Benjamin Ali Hodic, 1969. Ahmed Ali Hojic, 1965. Sened Pezerovic, 1957. Abdullah Atlich, no year indicated, Your Honor. Between the 1st and the 5th of June 1992, the location Karakach Technical School. Ramez Sinanovich, year of birth 1956, no sex indicated. Nuriha Jasharovich, 1961. Abdo Jasharovich, 1950. Victims from Ghetto Slaughterhouse, Zvornik. The date between 7th and 9th June 1992. Feido Hasanovich, year of birth 1956, no sex indicated. Muradov Hasanovich, 1957.
And then, please, finally, only the names of the victims of Annex 6.
Are all male victims, Your Honor. Ivan Agatich, Jozo Antonich, Ivan Bartolich, Luka Blazanovic, Niko Brandic, Luka Gregorovich, Ruzmir Hodžić, also known as Suma, Suad Hodžić, Said Hortic, also known as Batan, Ormin Nu, Hilmo Nu, Ivica Nu, Franjo Mandic, Iliha Matic, Ivo Mihic, Josip Orsolic, Ivo Tuslak, and an unidentified boy.
Thank you, Madam Registrar, for the reading out of this entire indictment with all its annexes. Dr. Šešelj, may I ask you, did you receive this indictment in a hard copy in a language you can understand?
I received this indictment. However, we will have to resolve these terminological problems. I listed a moment ago a number of words whose meaning I do not understand. Now there are some new ones. For instance, spol. I assume that means sex, judging by the English translation. But this must be stated to me in a language I understand. I only understand the Serbian language. Let me indicate an example to show the problems that arise.
Because you can't know that we have sometimes the problem of interpretation. Sometimes it emanates from the mere fact that there are several meanings of one and the same word. Sometimes we have the problem that in the Croatian language a word has a different meaning than in the Serbian language. And we are following the procedure that in case you have a problem with the translation, you may contact OLAT, that is the responsible unit, that with the assistance of our translation unit, these words can be cross-checked and it can be found out what is, in your opinion, the exact meaning, and it is for you then to address the court in writing with these problems emanating from the interpretation and translation. We are aware that even though, no doubt, both translation and interpretation unit try very hard to do their very best, it's nearly impossible that we all are in agreement what is the exact meaning of the one or other word. I think you will understand this problem, therefore please contact OLAT and address the court in writing with the problems you have with the interpretation. But I take it that in principle you understood this indictment. Correct?
Allow me to give you a flagrant example. In the indictment there is the word that I express myself negatively regarding pagans. Pagans are people who believe in many gods. I use the word pagan, which has a completely different meaning.
I had already explained to you that this is not the place to discuss these details. No doubt far more important for you is to discuss the content of the entire indictment. At this point in time, the question only is whether you understood the general meaning, the general content of this indictment. Yes or no?
As far as I was able to understand, I understand that you would like to convict me, but the content of the indictment is not clear to me. I have to defend myself from this indictment, and you must put it in order. It is not up to me to make a written submission. That is not my duty. It is up to the prosecution. If you have problems with interpreters, that is not my problem.
I think we will resolve the problem, but no doubt I have to reject this insinuation that it is for this trial chamber to convict you. It's for this trial chamber to come as close as possible to the truth. We all know there is no truth in the world, but we have to hear both sides and then finally to decide what is that, based on the facts, we can call that what would be closest to the truth. And our intent is to come closest to justice, and it is for you in general in the near future to rebut, if you so want, the allegations contained in this indictment. I have to inform you that under 62 of our rules of procedure and evidence, within 30 days of this initial appearance, or not guilty on each count. Why these 30 days? Because under Rule 66 it reads, subject to the provisions of Rule 53 and 69, the prosecutor shall make available to the defense in a language which the accused understands within 30 days, the same 30 days, of the initial appearance of the accused, copies of the supporting material which accompanied the indictment when confirmation was sought, as well as all prior statements obtained by the prosecutor from the accused. But should you so request under Rule 62, paragraph Roman 3 provides that you may immediately enter a plea of guilty or not guilty on one or more counts. May I ask you, are you ready and willing to enter a plea to the charges today, or in the alternative, do you prefer to do so within 30 days?
I will enter a plea within 30 days if, in the meantime, the prosecution explains to me the meaning of these terms that I am not familiar with. Unless the prosecution does that, I cannot do it. I give the prosecution a time period of 30 days to explain these things to me. As soon as everything is clear to me, I will enter a plea.
To be quite clear about this, in this courtroom, time limits are given by the trial chamber and not by one of the parties. If you have any problems, it is for you to indicate the problems related to the translation. You have to do so in writing as foreseen the rules. If you wouldn't do so, we would be in the same situation today within 30 days. And then, I mentioned this before, it's for you to decide whether to enter a plea or not. In case you do not enter such a plea, it would be for the judge to enter a plea of not guilty to all the counts. So once again the question, do you want to plea today or within 30 days?
I've already said within 30 days. So you can't enter anything today except this fact of 30 days. I will enter a plea within 30 days. I'm not in a hurry at all in these proceedings. I don't understand your haste. You seem to reproach me for insisting that the entire indictment be read. I have plenty of time. It could be read all night. If I may, I have a number of procedural objections.
In the moment we have to proceed under Rule 62 in the order foreseen on our rules. And following your request, and I appreciate that you want to enter an informed plea based on the supporting material, so therefore a hearing will be scheduled within the next 30 days. In addition, there are some mandatory rules, you may know, under public international law we have to follow. And we have to turn now to the question of your deprivation of liberty, Dr. Šešelj. Today I have to decide whether or not there will be ongoing deprivation of your liberty. Of course, it's your right to contest the legality of your arrest. Do you want to raise any objections today, or, as it is custom in this tribunal, reserve the right to file an informed motion for provisional release at a later date?
I have several objections to make today. Regarding provisional release, I was not arrested. I came of my own free will. Secondly, there's no government that could provide guarantees for me. So I'm not making a submission for provisional release, as it is not possible to find a government that would provide guarantees for me if I were to be provisionally released. So that question is not of any interest. I hope you will allow me to make two other minor objections.
We have to continue, and I will not forget your, as you call it, minor objections. I have to ask you, is it necessary that anybody is informed on your deprivation of liberty, for example, spouse, relative, especially to inform where and how you can be contacted in the United Nations Detention Unit in Scheveningen?
Everyone has been informed that I am in prison. Therefore, there's no need to contact anyone.
In this context, the second question is, do you want the tribunal to inform your consulate or embassy about your deprivation of liberty according to Article 36 of the Vienna Convention on...
No, I do not wish to have any contact with the consulate of the so-called Serbia and Montenegro. It is my conviction that in Serbia and Montenegro, mafioso and criminals are in power, and I do not wish any guarantees or any contacts with them.
This is your right, and I thank you for this clarification. So it's a mutual matter, and this allows the registry of this tribunal to take the necessary steps that also from the side of the government of Serbia and Montenegro there will be no attempt to contact you. Do you agree with this?
Yes, I do.
This concludes the normal part of Rule 62, but before I give you the floor once again, may I ask the prosecution any observations, especially to the procedure of disclosure?
Your Honor, we will disclose the materials as required in Rule 66 to 66A.
Thank you, and no doubt there was no request necessary in a language you understand. You wanted to make some short additional remarks, please.
Yes. I have been exposed to physical torture and mistreatment today because upon leaving the prison, 20 kilograms heavy flak jacket was put on me, and I consider this to be torture prohibited by international law. I do not need any flak jacket. I am not endangered by anyone, and I had to enter the vehicle on all fours because of this jacket. In a civilized world, if there is any danger, an armored vehicle is provided. I have not come here to carry flak jackets around. I've come here to be tried by you. And I really consider this to be intolerable, and I request that this measure be rescinded. No one is threatening me. I'm in no danger.
Thank you. The trial chamber will decide on this issue. And the second point you wanted to raise today?
I have 4 points, actually. This was the first. Secondly, I protest because through the media, through some TV stations, I was informed about today's hearing. It was only at 11 o'clock today that I was formally informed, though all the TV stations broadcast this yesterday. So surely I should have been the first to be informed at least one day in advance to be able to prepare, rather than the media learning about it before me.
If this would be the case, no doubt it would be a mistake, but based on the documents I have before me, you should have been informed already yesterday that is in due time, and you have to understand, being a lawyer yourself, that it's mandatory under human rights to be brought promptly before a competent judge. And this promptly means both under the jurisprudence of the Strasbourg Court and on the Committee on Human Rights dealing with Article 9, Paragraph 3 of the Covenant, that it has to be done in 3 times, and therefore it was necessary to hear you today and to give you a chance to raise objections. This is the reason. If it's true that you were only informed, we will go into some investigation on this. It would not be correct, in fact. Please. Your next point would be?
There's a problem with visas. I would like to be visited by members of my family, my close friends, and possibly legal advisors. However, there's a problem because the Dutch government approves visas, and formally the Dutch government may decide who may or may not visit me. So I insist that the United Nations should issue visas in this case, and that as to who will visit me or not should depend on the court rather than on the Dutch government.
We are in full agreement, and until now there has been no problem at all, and whenever there should be a problem, please advise immediately the court, and we will resolve this matter, because under the host country agreement it is no doubt your right to receive those persons you want as visitors. This should not be any problem at all. And your final question, please.
I have to add something to what I just said. It is intolerable for me for the Dutch government to grant approval. This tribunal is exterritorial. The detention center is exterritorial. I cannot understand that any request should be made to the Dutch government for visas at all, because in that case I will renounce visits by friends and family. I will not allow the Dutch government to have the decision-making powers in that regard. So I am raising this as a legal issue.
Yeah. You have to follow the rules of international law. There is a host country agreement with the Netherlands, and the United Nations support all the efforts necessary to grant a fair and at the same time expeditious trial. And part of this is that you have the right to have visitors, but as to the fact that this tribunal resides in the Netherlands, it's for the Netherlands to issue this visa in the future, and please obey these rules, and then you will achieve that what you want, the visitors of your own choosing. So let's come to your final point, please.
In my country, it is customary for the judges, the prosecutors, and tribunal employees to wear normal, decent, civil clothing. I am frustrated when I see the judges wearing strange clothing in black, red, and the prosecutors in black and white. This associates me with the Inquisition of the Roman Catholic Church, and psychologically I find this unacceptable, and I insist that everyone should wear normal civilian clothing, especially as I haven't seen any rule which prescribes clothing of this kind.
There are such rules, and we will provide you with these rules, and you have to accept that this is an international tribunal established by Security Council for the purpose of bringing and maintaining peace in former Yugoslavia, and it's the right of each tribunal and each court wherever in the world to decide about the robes to wear and the clothing of the personnel in this tribunal. And the plenary of this tribunal has decided, being mandated to do so, to wear the robes as we have, and the same is true for the representatives of the prosecution and the legal officers in this room, and the same would be true for your defense counsel. This brings me to the final point of today's hearing. You know about the meaning of the right to be heard. It might be that this trial chamber, ex officio, will raise the question whether or not it is in the interest of justice to assign a defense counsel to you. Do you want to comment on this question already now or later?
Under no circumstances will I accept the assignment of defense counsel by you. I would consider this a limitation of my civil rights and prevention of my defense. In this courtroom, no one but me may speak on my behalf or defend me from the contents of this indictment. This then would be put up trial, and my presence here would be tantamount to nonsense. If I so decide, I will have my own legal counsel and legal assistance, but it is only I myself who will act in my defense, and I am entitled to that. It is Article 21 that provides for this. No?
I think
so, yes.
I thank you very much for this clear statement. The trial chamber will deliberate on this issue. This concludes today's hearing.
All rise, we will obey.